Yes.
Everybody's recording.
My name is Rachel, and I want to talk to you about a topic that I really love and I think is really important. I think it's important for the future of food security around the world, and that is sustainable agriculture. I grew up on a farm, and my dad worked at another farm as well, but on our farm, he was always working all the time. He was full-time there, he was part-time at our farm. And he's retired and he's continuing to farm. So I studied environmental science and sustainable agriculture in college, and through my dad, I continue to learn about these things. So that's why I want to talk about it a little bit today, because I think that sustainable agriculture is moving forward in really interesting ways and will help us to continue to survive in a world where the population is constantly growing and resources are diminishing. So what is sustainable agriculture? Well, let's just talk about the way things grow real briefly. Obviously, you need water and you need nutrients, and you need good soil in order to grow anything. And for a farmer, since that's their livelihood, you need optimum conditions of high soil quality, and you need a lot of water. So sustainable agriculture includes practices where you can maintain, you can conserve water and maintain soil quality. There are a lot of different sustainable agriculture practices that do this. I'm going to just talk about a couple that I've learned about through my dad and through courses that I took. One of the most important sustainable agriculture practices is using a cover crop. So in between growing your crop, let's say corn, you would plant another crop that would kind of protect the soil between your corn crops, because obviously you're not growing corn all year round. So a cover crop like rye or alfalfa or clover accomplishes a couple of different things. It holds the soil together to keep it from running off into streams and rivers. It actually maintains the nutrients that are in the soil, because you put all this fertilizer onto the corn, and any extra fertilizer that the corn doesn't use, it's just there in the soil. That contributes to pollution in a big way. When the soil runs off into local waterways, the nitrogen and phosphorus and other ingredients in fertilizer contaminate our natural waterways. So also, fertilizer is very expensive, and you don't want it to run off again and again into the water. So the cover crop sucks that stuff up, and of course it grows, so it holds it, and it's keeping it in its plant life until you cut it down and it biodegrades back into the soil. Then it's still right there when you need to grow your next crop of corn. Also, certain types of cover crop are particularly helpful because they create nitrogen. Alfalfa, clover, vetch, these are types of legumes, and a legume is actually a plant that puts nitrogen back into the soil. So that's kind of awesome. So when you plant a leguminous cover crop in between your crops, then you're conserving nitrogen and you're adding nitrogen to the soil to contribute to your next crop. Sustainable agriculture with cover cropping is also really cool when you can then do something called no-till a no-till crop, or do no-till planting. Tilling is plowing. So when you've seen fields that are all plowed up and it's just dirt, you can see the rows, the plow rows, where they've turned the soil over. They do that because of the weeds, obviously. They need to turn the soil over and just kill the weeds, get them out of the sun. They can't grow in earth that's all torn up. but you contribute to runoff when you do that. And it also contributes to something called compaction, which is when the soil, because it's been torn up so often, it doesn't have its natural arrangement of all the soil particles being sort of attached to each other. And you need oxygen in the soil. You don't just need water and nutrients. Plants must have oxygen. If the soil is completely compacted, nothing grows. Just like when you see along a sidewalk where people have walked and the grass doesn't grow. It's not just because the grass has been trod on. It's because the soil is too compacted to allow for plants to grow there.